Hi folks, my name is Peter and I'm going to be showing you how to restring an acoustic guitar. It's a little different than an electric because it uses one of these wooden bridges and it has like a peg system in it. But once it's all done, it's going to sound really good. Right now I'm using just an Epiphone acoustic guitar. Most of them are the same. You're not going to really find any with like a string through bridge, unless it's an acoustic electric hybrid type guitar. So let's get started. I'm going to tell you what tools you're going to need. First, we're going to need pliers, and it'll also help you kind of finagle these things out too as well. I like to use a tuning peg, and these are really great to tie the strings up really fast instead of manually turning each one. It can take a little bit of time. And it also has a little groove in here which will help you pop out some of these pegs as well. And also, of course, you're going to need your guitar strings, which you can get at any guitar store. I'm using Diodarios for these ones. They're pretty cheap and they're pretty good. So let's get started. Alrighty, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off our old strings. You can tell they're really bad when you hear like a flat sound. They're not going to sound as bright. They'll get really gunky, especially around the top frets, because you know, that's usually what you mainly play on an acoustic guitar. These ones turn really black. Basically, you'll know when the strings need to be changed. Acoustics are really thick, so you don't have to change them as much as you have to do with regular guitar strings. But they will lose their brightness pretty fast. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is take off the old strings. So we're going to start by taking our winder and unwinding our strings. Alright, normally people would just take it off the front, take it off the top and pull it out, but I like to take the fast way and just cut the strings. It's a lot easier that way. Just make sure you don't damage the guitar. So we're going to take off the strings off the top of the guitar. Alright, now make sure you dispose of the strings because they have a little sharp ends and you don't want to drop them on the carpet and end up cutting your foot on it or anything like that. So dispose of the old strings. Okay, so now we're going to take the pegs off of the guitar once we have the strings all cut. I like to use pliers because they get really hard to take out, so let's start by taking out the pegs. Let's go.
Yeah, good.
Now the good thing about these little plastic pegs is they're really cheap, and you can get a bag of 20 of them for, you know, $3 or $4 at any guitar store. Sometimes you'll have to replace them because they break. So don't be worried if you snap one in half. You can just run to the guitar store and pick some of those up. Alright, well if you're anything like me and you play the guitar a lot, you're going to get some, it's kind of gross, but you're going to get some, I guess, finger juices on here. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to clean it off before we restring it. It's always good to clean the guitar while the strings are off because you can get to the areas that you can't really clean. I usually just use Windex, but I'm sure you can get like wood cleaner or something that works too. It really depends on the guitar. If it's a really nice guitar, you're going to want to use really high quality stuff. But this is just kind of like my beat around acoustic that I use, you know, pretty much every day. So I'll use glass cleaner and it'll work fine. So let's get started. I like to use a credit card. It sounds weird, but you can kind of use it to scrape off some of the residue that's left on the fretboard. Just a rag and some glass cleaner. So let's get started. Okay, ready?
Yeah, go.
Alrighty, and what I like to do is I like to just take these little ends and with the pliers just kind of push them off to the side, bend them out because they're really sharp and you don't want to cut your fingers on them while you're trying to tune your guitar. I mean, I've done that several times. So there we go. Got them all cut and we got them ready. So now we're going to get ready to tune the guitar.
Yep, go.
Alright, now we're going to tune the guitar. With an acoustic it's a little harder because, I mean, unless you have a plug-in one, but this one isn't a plug-in one, it's just an old guitar. So you have to do it by ear, or you can get a tuner with a mic on it. I don't have a tuner with a mic, so what I like to do is I have a guitar that I've already tuned with my tuner, and you just gotta play. I usually do the A string because it's nice and loud, it rings, and it holds a tune really well. If you do it with the G string, the G string's kind of, you never know if it's going to be in tune or not. So let's just do the A string, so I'm just going to play the A string. Okay, so we have the A string already. If you don't know how to tune it, you just, what you're going to do is you're going to hold on the 5th fret of the E, and we're going to play the A, so we can see it's really low. And then you just kind of, you can hear the wave of the harmonic. But you can also use a harmony, a harmonic, which is just, you're going to kind of hover your finger over the 5th fret, and you're going to get like a loud ring sound. And then you're going to cover your finger over the 7th fret of the A, and you're going to, and it's supposed to be the same exact note. So you can see it's pretty good. Okay, and there's no harmony for the higher strings, the B string and the E string. So you're just going to want to do the 4th fret. And then for the E string, you're going to hit the 5th note, the 5th fret on the B string. You can also do a harmony like, I'm sorry, which is the 7th harmony of the E, and then the 7th harmony of the A string to get the last two. And then you should have a nice ring. It should be nice and loud. These pegs might come up a little bit. If that happens, usually just take you can take any flat object, the end of this or the end of your pliers, and just kind of pound it back down. To get it back in. It's going to get a little loose and whatever, especially while you're tuning the guitar, and the strings get tighter. It's going to start pulling on these, but in the end they should get nice and tight, and yeah, it should be really good, and then you're all set. Just tune it up. Just remember, when you put fresh strings on, you're going to have, a couple days. It's going to get out of tune really easily, just because the strings are new, very pliable, and they're going to bend whichever way they want. But once you get all that all set, you'll be all set. See what I mean?